What's going on, guys? Ryan Matthes here. I'm here in San Luis Obispo right now, hanging out with my aunt and my uncle. This is my Uncle Sean. He's one of my closest family members and my best friends. I absolutely love him. And I thought it would be amazing to make a video about how he met my aunt, because I think it's a wonderful love story and I think there's a lot of value here. And I think that there might be people out in the world who might enjoy it. So here is Sean with the love story of meeting my aunt.
Well, that was quite a story because we were both travelers and adventurers. I never knew her, of course, before I met her. She was in California, San Francisco. I had left there, and I was living in Hawaii, working at a resort, and eventually I was staying in a coffee shack, as we used to call them in Hawaii, on the Big Island, and anyway, there was a fellow named Babu, which is perfect for the 60s. He looked like Richard Alpert, and so he came through where I was living, and he said, have you ever had some really good acid? I said, well, I don't think so. And he gave me some, and then I took it, and well, wasn't that quite a night? And I also was suffering from agoraphobia. But those houses, those coffee shacks, were filled with spiders. I mean, big, running all around the place. So, in one night, I cured myself of agoraphobia because I said, I have to make peace with these creatures because that's the way it goes. And so he was a memorable character in my life, and he left, and I didn't see him again for about a year. Then I got on the ship, the Lurline. No, not the Lurline. Anyway, it's not important. A British ship, and I was, it's not a cruise ship. It was, it was in the days when people used to take ocean ships instead of planes. Anyway,
Where were you guys? Where were you going from?
okay, she was coming from. Well, we were coming from the United States and going to Australia.
And so, you both happened to be on the same ship.
And very, very strange thing happened. She, through some fluke, she got the last female bunk on the ship, and I, by a fluke, because I was planning to leave about a month and a half later, but I left my job, so I had to grab anything I could grab, and I got the last mail thing. So we were not supposed to be on the same ship, but
as fate would have it, you guys managed to both get the last bunks for your
for the male and female.
How long was it How long was it before you guys met each other on the ship? And kind of tell everybody how you guys met.
Well, she kind of met me by design. I was clueless. And actually I had a kind of a rough breakup of a romantic relationship in Berkeley, and so I was just going, I'm going to the outback and I'm gonna live with a man and we're gonna drill and be whatever, cowboys or whatever they have down.
So you were going to Australia to go work in oil and like in drilling.
Yeah, the hairy-chested Australian lifestyle, which there is plenty. It's a rough country, especially back in the 60s, and it was, by God, yeah, you earned your living. You made $1 a day or $1 an hour. And
what year was this? And
this was 68, 67, 68. Yeah.
Okay, so tell everybody kind of the moment that you guys met and kind of how it went down.
Well, it was funny because I was totally unaware, and I was reading a book about war called, I think it was called the Yancey's War, that a friend of mine had recommended. So I'm reading this, and I'm not trying to make any relationships with any women because I struggle, and then
you just had a breakup, so you were just
I said I'm done with that. And then she and this lady sat down at my table, and I'm doing everything she hates. I'm smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol, and she kept talking to me, and I'd be back to my word book, and and well, anyway, so I said, well, you want to go to the dance tonight? So we went to the dance that night, and then afterwards we walked up on the top deck, and I think we're a couple of days out of Honolulu, but it was spectacular. We were up, actually, because we weren't first class passengers, we weren't supposed to be up there, and to just be with her, and we were looking at the stars and all that. It was quite nice, and so that so we got to know each other over a few days, and then we got to Fiji, and then we went to New Zealand.
So you went Hawaii, so Honolulu, to Fiji, to New Zealand, and then what was next?
And after New Zealand, we arrived in Sydney, and I had my plan, which was like kind of no plan. Go get a job, you wanker, and that was about it. And we stayed in an area called King's Cross, which was I don't know, it'd be like kind of like North Beach, San Francisco, kind of seedy.
Let me ask you a question. How did you guys, so you're on the boat, you guys meet. How did you guys decide to leave the boat together and to continue the journey?
The thing was, when we got to Sydney, and then when looking around, we really didn't have solid plans, but we looked around, and I found a place to stay, and something showed up later that I didn't realize that she actually had met a guy from Australia in San Francisco, and so she had to negotiate to I know I was coming here to see you, but I'm not seeing you,
So she ditched the other guy, and she continued on the journey with you.
Yeah, and I said, look, we don't know our way around this country, but I've got a cheap room, and what do you say we hook up, and instead of spending our money this way and that, we'll combine it, and so she was up to it, and we were a very easy mix, I guess.
So you guys meshed well. It just kind of started to flow.
Yeah, she was one of the first women in my life that, God bless you all, but that wasn't a pain in the ass to me. She and I got together, and then so we lived together. We got a room in a boarding house out in Bondi Beach, and then we were there about 3-4 months. She worked Sydney Hospital, and I worked for Waverly Bus Depot, sweeping up, sweeping with other like people from Sicily and Italy and whatever, and all us poor immigrants sweeping up stuff on the bus. And
How long did you guys spend in Australia together before you guys continued on your journey?
it was about a year, just under a year.
So a year. So you guys spent a year hanging out, doing your thing, connecting, bonding, all that good stuff. And then what did you guys do after Australia? What was the plan and what kind of went down?
Well, what happened was, I said, I got a job. I got to go. I've got to find work, so I've got to go out to West Australia. And so I was going to leave her behind, not being cold-hearted or anything, but I had my heart broken so many times that,
So you started to close up. You're like, I'm shutting down shop. I'm heading out.
Yeah, and then I saw she was not happy with my idea of going to West. So I said, I tell you what, I'll go to West Australia, and you follow me a couple of weeks later, and we'll set something up. So I went out there looking for a job in a mining company, and it's so true. If you're a world traveler, if you want to get a job at a mining company, go to the mine. Don't be down in some capital city and asking for a job. No. So anyway, I got the job as a water truck driver for a drilling rig up in West Australia. What was that? What? Trying to think of the name of it. Well, it's not important. Anyway, so she shows up and we have a romantic thing, and I said, well, you want to make this a more permanent situation? And she says yes, and I went, wow. Boy, that's a first non-neurotic woman I've met. I mean, she said, yeah, I'm in for this game. And so, yes, we said, I got her a job at the pub, and I worked at the drilling rig until I didn't, and then I worked at the pub, and then...
Okay, so hold on. So let's slow down. So you go out to West Australia looking for work, you leave her behind, then you guys meet up, and then you kind of like in a nonchalant way propose.
Yeah.
And then you get her a job at the pub, and you're working there at the pub as well. From here, what happens and where do you guys go?
Well, we were reading all the, what do we call it, metaphysical books, yogi books of that time, autobiography of a yogi, and there was just so much stuff out there to read. But we just wanted to travel the world and see the Himalayas and go to India. And I already had contacts in Europe from when I used to live there. So we did that. There's a lot of stuff in between that I'm not going to go into. But anyway, we got out and we flew from Perth to Malaysia, Singapore, and then Malaysia. We hitchhiked, and then we got to Calcutta. Then we got oh God, it sounds so crazy now. Took a train to Roxal in Nepal. Got on a bus. And then we ended up spending 3 months in Kathmandu, Nepal.
And so you go from Australia and you take this massive journey to, you said, Singapore. And then from Singapore, where did you go?
From Singapore, we left with our thumbs. God, I can't believe we did this, but because Singapore is an island. You get over there, and the Malaysian Peninsula just goes up. So we hitchhiked.
So you hitchhiked from Singapore,
Singapore
through Malaysia,
yeah,
to
and then we were able to get on a train to
Kathmandu?
not Kathmandu,
Calcutta.
Thailand.
Thailand.
What's the, yeah. Anyway, whatever that. Oh,
What was it?
looking back on it now, it just seems insane. So anyway,
But you did it.
yeah, we
You did
did it. And so, anyway, I told her, this was in Perth, I said, let's get married on January the 1st, 1969. Seems auspicious. So, we had a little agenda. So, anyway, we get to Kathmandu, and we're there for a month or two, and then we decide to go through it. We find a
This is in Nepal.
in Nepal, Kathmandu. We find Canon Burgoyne, who was a British priest, and he would marry us, and we consulted with him, but we had to get a marriage license so we'd be genuine. So she goes to the U.S. Embassy in Nepal, and I'm doing whatever I was doing, and then she meets a gal who's also she's from Hawaii. She's an American, but she's from Hawaii, and they get chatting it up, and then I walk in the door. And she said, "Oh, here's my soon-to-be husband," and we shake hands and all that stuff. We're sitting there, and then a minute later, the door opens, and here comes Babu, the guy that gave me the acid in Kona.
Oh my God! What are the odds of that?
I go, what? He's from Kona. Jesus, we could not believe it, and we became fast friends, and they came to our wedding and all that stuff, and then they flew back, but that was one of the weirdest coincidences that
It was meant to be.
Yeah, it was, and after that it was. I was we're looking around for a ride out. You could either buy bus tickets and stuff, but rough travel, through all the stands, and then a couple of ex-Peace Corps guys put up this sign saying, "Kathmandu to the English Channel, $45." I mean, that sounds insane now. $45 for Kathmandu. But we said, yeah, I'll take it, and they had skills because they were ex-Peace Corps guys, and we made it all the way through India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, and
Well, I never knew this. So you guys, after you got married in Nepal, you guys went through all these other places before you came back to the States.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so we got to Eastern Turkey, and the van broke down, and so we had to wait for parts or something. But Greg, who was the driver,
Greg
said,
was the driver.
Yeah, he said, "Well, I can figure this out." So I mean. I don't know how cheap it was. It was like
How old were you at this point?
Probably mid-20s.
Mid-20s.
Yeah. And so, well, once you're at the railhead, well, Europe's open to you. I mean, and I had all these strings of friends in Europe, and so when we got on the train in Israel and rode to Istanbul, and then we rode to Munich, and then I rode to Nuremberg, and to all these places where I had lived before, and then off to London, and it was like the doors just kept opening for us. I mean, there was no stress whatsoever. I got to London. My old drinking buddy, he had gone from being a cook at the Russell Square Hotel to being the chef at some huge, hotel, and we had a great reunion and all that stuff. And then finally, we were able to buy our tickets and get on a plane. We flew to New York. My army buddy picked us up at the airport, and then after that, it was a Greyhound bus. That was probably the worst part of the trip,
Back to California.
Back to California, but
And so, how long have you guys been married now?
Since 1969.
So what is that? Third.
I flunked math, don't ask me.
So 69 plus 1 is 70. So 31 is 2000. 31 and 26. Is that 57 years?
I'll take it.
57 years. All from a cruise from Hawaii.
Yeah, a fluke. I mean, I should not have had a bed available, nor should she. And we just hooked up. Oh yeah, and eventually, because we didn't have much success in California, and so we went back to Hawaii, and wouldn't you know it was Babu and Robin. We hooked up with those people
That is
again,
so funny.
and that just kind of opened up a wonderful long-term relationship.
And so
it's all
how
like,
long did you guys live in Hawaii once you guys came back?
I think I'd have to add up because it's in starts and fits, but we lived like 3 years, come back, 2 years, go back, 3 or 4 years, and finally I kind of left Hawaii. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think, make this make sense, but 1970s, I lived in LA, and we didn't go back to Hawaii till 1980. 1989 or so. It was a long time, and
So that was like 4 years after I was born. 'Cause I was born in '86.
oh my God, I remember that. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, so yeah. But
Honestly, I think it's an incredible story. I always love hearing it, and it's really nice to get it on camera and to share it with people. Because how old are you now, Sean?
I'll be 82 on the 20th of this month.
So 82 on the 20th of February. And I love Sean. He's absolutely one of my favorite people in the world. Super funny, lots of stories. I hope everybody enjoyed this story. If you guys loved it, drop a comment below, like, subscribe. I just helped my uncle here set up his own YouTube channel. You can go and follow him. It's Raging Riley, RAGING REILLY. He's going to have lots more stories and poetry and just amazing insights from a life well lived. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. So let us know what you think, and we got more content on the way. Anything else to add?
Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Of course, of course.